Okay, hello and welcome. Welcome to this live breaking news. It's late at night, but I had some fresh information to share with you guys. Now, if you thought that Pakistan's troubles in the Asia Cup were over and the worst was behind them after the loss to India, and then the embarrassment of having to play the next game with Andy Pycroft as the match referee in the very next game and causing a delay of 1 hour. No, their troubles seems like will only keep increasing from here on. In the latest development, Pakistan Cricket Board has been sent an email from the ICC. That email is gone from the ICC CEO, who is recently taken over, Sanjay Gupta. He's the CEO of ICC. He sent a mail to PCB saying that they have been found guilty of violating a very important rule in that UAE versus Pakistan encounter. Now, I'll give you all the details of what is the violation that Pakistan Cricket Board has done in that UAE encounter. So, if you remember, they arrived at the venue late, but that's not the issue that is at hand. There was a video that was released by PCB of uh, Andy Pycroft, the match referee, speaking to Captain Salman Ali Aga, and Mike Hesson was there, and the manager of the Pakistan team was there. That video was shot in an area of the ground which is called the PMO. So, for those of you who don't know, PMO is the players and match officials area. So it's an area, very restricted area. Only very few people can go there, and only people with a certain accreditation card can go there. So it's a restricted area. But most importantly, filming there is prohibited, and more importantly, mobile phones there are prohibited. Now, remember, why are mobile phones there prohibited? Because one, you can't film, it's a sensitive area. You know, mobile phones have in the past been used for unethical practices as well in cricket. So this is a very sensitive area where mobile phones are not allowed. Now, PCB, and which according to them, they must have thought is a great move. They recorded that video of Andy Poycroft in conversation with the Pakistani captain, coach, and manager. And they later produced it saying that, see, we have proof of Andy Poycroft actually apologizing. However, that video, of course, had no audio. The audio there had been muted. So there's no way of knowing what the conversation there was. But the fact that they filmed that particular video in a restricted area where mobile phones are prohibited is completely against the ICC guidelines. So an official email asking PCB to explain themselves has been sent out. What I'm also picking up that ICC might take some action against the Pakistan Cricket Board because of their violation of this rule. Now, as I said, the background of this you all know. They recorded their video probably later to try and win the narrative war because when they would be, an issue, was there really an apology or not? They would really put that particular video out. But this is a step that is completely backfired, and this is something that will be investigated by the ICC. But also to just put it into exact details and put the facts out there so as to you know what that whole apology drama was also about. Now remember, when PCB sent their first official release, they sent that match referee Andy Poycroft has apologized. They said that. They didn't explain for what. Because of course, if you went into explanation of what he apologized for, it probably may not, show them in good light. So they had not explained. And then they also added in that press release that ICC has agreed to investigate this matter further as to what happened between India and Pakistan game. Those, I'm afraid, were half truths. Firstly, as I've explained this to you before as well on Sports Today, the apology by Andy Pycroft was not for no handshake or anything like that, or the conduct of the Indian team. The apology was only for miscommunication because PCB had alleged that they were not told in advance and they should have known about this. Andy Poycroft there, when the ICC investigation happened, they found him not guilty because he hadn't acted outside the rule book. And also, secondly, Andy Poycroft also put his point forward, and probably those are the visuals that you're seeing where he's explaining himself that I actually told you that there will be no handshake because the Indian team had told me that if I had not communicated this to you, it would lead to embarrassment for you. So to make it easy for you, I had communicated for you. But in case you thought that the communication reached you late, or my communication was not clear, then I apologize for that. But that's the only apology. If Andy Pycroft was guilty for anything beyond that, he wouldn't have been the match referee on that given day. So Andy Pycroft was the match referee, which was to say that when it came to the rule book, he had done nothing wrong. And remember, ICC had investigated him and given him a clean chit, despite two separate demands by PCB, two separate emails by PCB. So that's the first thing. The second thing they're saying that, which I read today as well, reports were doing the round that ICC has assured PCB that they will look into the Surya Kumar Yadav matter. That also, I'm afraid, is not true. On that count as well, the ICC has given a clean chit to the Indian team, so that matter is not being investigated. However, that's why I said the actual matter is, which is being twisted and presented. The actual thing is that what ICC told them after saying that, listen, this matter is done and dusted. We've seen all the evidence. There is no action to be taken. However, as in any case, you always tell the aggrieved party that in case you have some fresh evidence, you have something new to show us, do please bring that. Once we look at that, then maybe if there is any fresh evidence that shows that any of the party was guilty, we'll of course take action. And as I said, that is normal procedure that happens in any hearing. Even in civil court that happens. You see a case, you do not find the party that is being tried guilty, you give them a clean chit. However, if in next few days after the verdict comes out, or months, or even years for that matter, if fresh evidence comes to light, that case will obviously be reopened. And I think that's the communication that the ICC gave the Pakistan Cricket Board, that this matter remains closed with all the evidence that's in light. Yes, if you have something fresh to bring to us, something fresh that we are not aware of course, we'll look into the matter on any grievance that you might have had. So that was also the twisted way the press release was put out. So I'm just putting the facts out there so you know exactly how the things panned out. So before I take your leave, here's the latest. There has been a letter that has been sent out by the ICC to the Pakistan Cricket Board asking them to explain themselves, because the ICC has found them in violation of the code of conduct. The violation is that they filmed in the PMO area, which is the players match official areas, where mobile phones are prohibited. And that, remember, is a very serious matter. I just told you why in certain areas mobiles are prohibited, because they have been in the past used for unethical practices as well. So in those areas, you couldn't have taken the mobile phone. But we all know why that phone was taken there. Maybe to film that and later present it in a way that, listen, we got our share of the bargain. We got what we really were asking for. So what is the action that the ICC is going to take? That is something that I do not know at the moment. Of course, we'll keep updating you as we go along as to what would be the final action that the ICC takes. But the action could be anywhere from monetary fines to going forward some sort of other disciplinary action. But we'll take a look at all of that. Adya Kavlekar is saying, did they use AI? No, there was no use of AI. That video is real. In fact, that is the video that has actually really put them in a spot, as brought about trouble for Pakistan cricket at the moment. So that's the latest update that I have for you. As I said at the start of this video, you thought that Pakistan cricket could put all this behind and now concentrate on their cricket, which they really need to, considering that they will be up against a formidable Indian team going forward. But I guess that is something they won't be able to do, because they have a lot of explaining to do at the moment, and trouble is really mounting on them. Bhavik wants to know, will Mohsin Naqvi resign? I don't know. I mean, that is Pakistan's lookout. But I would say that the way this entire thing has been mishandled in the last few days, um, you know, eh, you should look at maybe if you're looking at it from Pakistan's point of view, they would need someone who can handle things with more tact and you know uh, maturity, as well as effectiveness for them, so as to save them the embarrassment of what has happened in the last few days. So that, of course, is PCB's lookout. Remember, the patron in chief of PCB is always the head of the state there. So It has happened. In fact, the post of president of the Pakistan Cricket Board has always been a musical chair. Who knows? They may have to look at that as well going forward. But that's the latest from me here on Sports Today. Nikhil Nas signing off. Do give us a like on the video. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today for all sports related content. Bye bye.